Okay. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing.
Okay.
All right. Let's just start over. Everything's running. All right.
Yeah, I hope so. Lord, do you remember in the first grade elementary school when the music teacher would teach us songs, and one of the strategies she used to learn the song was to teach it in rounds.
Rounds, yeah. Remember.
And Row, Row, Row Your Boat was one of the songs that they taught us because it was a very simple song.
Yeah, remember that well.
Yeah, well, we're going to try that right now.
Okay.
You start off, and then I'll come in and sing it 3 times.
We'll do it 3 times.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm ready. I can do it.
And do it in a distinctive voice, but not overly loud. Just
Okay. All right. I'll do the best I can. All right. All right. A 1, a 2. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream.
Row your boat
merrily, 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 merrily,
merrily, merrily, merrily, merrily. Life is but a dream.
Row your boat
Row
gently down the stream.
Row your boat
merrily,
gently
merrily,
down the
merrily,
stream.
merrily,
Merrily,
life is
merrily,
but a
merrily,
dream.
merrily. Life is but a dream.
Row your boat gently down the stream.
Your boat
merrily,
gently down
merrily,
the
merrily,
stream.
merrily, life is but a
Merrily,
dream.
merrily, life is but a dream. Hey, we did it.
Hey, all right.
Well,
Yeah, I remember that. There was another one called Vera Jacques, too. Remember that one?
yeah, that was
Vera
French, so
Jacques.
that always messed me up because I wasn't sure I was pronouncing Vera Jacques right.
Yeah, I remember those as if it was yesterday. Philip.
Well, that's what our topic is today: singing and whistling.
Singing and whistling, okay.
So
I used to could whistle, but I can't whistle anymore.
You can't whistle at all. You must be
A little bit.
Must be the dental work. Yeah.
I don't know. No, my lips aren't as flexible as they used to be.
Well, is singing somehow therapeutic for us, either in public or in private?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I think singing. That's singing is associated in a certain area with the poor folks that used to sing blues or sing in the cotton patch. The poor black people, they had to sing to cheer themselves up.
You think that's why they were singing, to cheer themselves up?
I think so. Yeah, their life was poverty, and there wasn't much that they expected out of life, so they sang to cheer themselves up.
I don't agree with that totally.
What do you think they sang?
I think they sang because they enjoyed it, and they enjoyed music and making and hearing their voices. It
well, that too, but
the work, the labor was a part of their life, just like in the Philippines. Many of those people are poor as dirt, but they all seem happy and smiling because they're.
Well, it seemed that way because they're singing. Sometimes people go to church and sing. They sing gospel hymns to cheer, hope in God, hope in the future, when their life is absolutely miserable, falling apart. But singing somehow lifts us up.
How does that fall into therapy, though, if you're singing by yourself, singing, walking down the street, or walking in the woods, something you start singing or whistling? How is that therapeutic?
I don't know how. It's a mystery, but it is. to say that it is and understand why, I don't know, but I do. You don't think so? You would deny that?
No. I believe singing is therapeutic, but not
Okay.
in that case. I don't think that the black folks working in the slaves working in the fields, all the singing they did while they were working on the railroad or whatever, it was a way to for them to enjoy life and have something they're engaged in other than the work, get their mind off the work while they're working, and they enjoyed it. They enjoyed making the tune and singing.
Well, let me share this thought with you. When I went in the Marine Corps, when I was going through Marine Corps boot camp, they would run us, a lot, and we would sing while we ran. They would sing these little chants. Like one of mine, as our tongues were hanging out, we're running 2 or 3 miles, and we're all about to die. And they would sing these chants, and the drill instructor, he would say, "What are we going to do when we get back?" And then we'd say, "What we're going to do when we get back? Take a shower and hit the rack." Now, I knew we weren't going to do that. There was no way they was going to let us take a shower and hit the rack. But the very thought of it helped me to get one foot in front of the other one. Just thinking about that cold shower and getting in the rack.
Well, I agree.
That very thought kept me going.
That's exactly what I'm saying. But I don't think you were singing because you were trying to make yourself happy. You weren't trying to you weren't trying to change your. Well, maybe we're saying the same thing, but there's a fine difference there in somebody who's working away and he's just singing to get his mind off the work, and he's singing because he enjoys it and it makes the time go by.
Well, I think both of those things are true. I mean,
Yeah.
he is singing because it makes him happy, but it is also a method, a therapeutic thing, singing.
Should only professionals sing in public?
Well, questionable, perhaps. But when somebody's singing, is he singing for himself or is he singing for the crowd? Now, if he's a professional, he's singing for the crowd. But
Yeah.
but just the common guy can sing too. He can sing for therapy, even though he sings terrible. You shouldn't say, well, you shouldn't sing if you can't carry a tune. You shouldn't sing.
Even in public? I mean, shouldn't they have some sort of consideration for the public to have listen to this lousy singer?
Well, not necessarily. If you're interrupting somebody, if I'm like really punishing you, if you say you're making my ears hurt, then maybe I say, okay, I won't sing anymore. But no, I think it's fine. In fact, I think it's contagious that when you see a down and out poor person whistling or singing, you say, geez, maybe I should sing and whistle more, in my down times.
If you got people all around you, you're out in public, is it acceptable behavior to whistle in public?
I don't particularly like to hear other people's whistling, but I don't object. I wouldn't say nothing.
Yeah.
Because I think they probably need that whistle.
Well, Andy does it
Let
on
'em go.
Andy Griffith, as they're walking down
That's
the
the
trail
thing. Yeah,
by the
that's-
river. They're
yeah.
going fishing. Whistling.
But that's professional whistling. That is an entertainment.
Yeah,
when we
but,
see
but
Andy
it's
Griffith.
depicted as a common thing. It's just a father and his son walking along whistling.
With your fishing pole, it kind of makes you want to whistle.
Yeah.
Now, I don't whistle that well. I think I could whistle better when I was younger, but I do know people that walk around, they don't realize they're whistling. They're just working away. at
Whistling a
something.
tune.
Whistling a tune.
Subconsciously.
Subconsciously, they're whistling because it somehow or another helps them to get their not melody, but their rhythm going. Just by whistling. I don't know. It doesn't do that for me, but it does do that for some people.
Don't you have a little story about whistling in public?
Now,
Singing in public.
Now, I do. You're going to tell that story. Now, I do notice that I like singing in the car, but and my wife, and not just my wife, virtually everybody. Every time I start singing in the car, the other guy will reach over and turn the radio on.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's an indication they're not.
They don't want to hear my.
Right.
They don't do it deliberately. They're subconsciously in order to cut off my singing.
They're just not
They'll reach
entertained.
It just reminds them of what it would be like to hear some good singing. It almost always does that, I try it. So I'm gonna start singing a tune, and it won't take 30 seconds. They'll reach over and turn the radio up. No, you want me to tell that story?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting story, but pertinent to our topic here.
Well, I thought I had already told it, but we had to abort our program the
Right.
other day because the equipment malfunctioned.
Yeah, we're not supposed to talk about that now.
Okay.
This is
So, but well,
tabula rasa, clean slate.
this happened many years ago when I was out in California in the military, and we lived in a fairly large church unit out there, and so we'd go to church, and we didn't have a choir.
Oh yeah, now I remember.
So the bishop of the unit he proposed that we have a choir, and we had this one fellow. His name was Brother Val Lamson, Lamson, and Brother Lamson, he was a little skinny guy with a head full of curly hair, long hair, curly hair.
Yeah.
He looked like a scholar or a strange kind of guy. In fact, he reminded you of that Dr. Zorba. Reminded me of Dr. Zorba in the old
Curly hair.
curly hair.
Yeah.
In the old Ben Casey doctor series. And so Brother Lamson was a professional musician. He taught choral music at the Oceanside, California High School, which was a fairly large high school. In fact, he had, that's the high school that professional singer Barbara Mandrell attended. And Brother Lamson had been the voice coach for Barbara Mandrell. So he was a professional, and he had quite good credentials. but he didn't have a lot of patience for people, less than him. And so he accepted the assignment to start us a choir in our unit there on one provision. He said he wanted to audition everybody. He didn't want just anybody in his choir.
Yeah.
He wanted to audition. So for about a month, we'd come to church and we'd sit sitting in the pew there singing the hymnal, and you'd see Brother Lamson kind of like a snake just slithering through the congregation.
He's trying to hear people sing.
Hear people. And if you turn around and look behind you, and there would be Brother Lamson who had slid in behind you there, and you have his ear cocked. He'd be sliding in and out of pews without you seeing him, and take with his little notebook, taking notes.
Yeah.
So he did that for about a month, and then he commenced his audition, and so he began to telephone and call people, come on in for your audition. So my wife, at the time, was a pretty good singer, and she was qualified for the choir, no doubt. So I took her over to his house one evening. For her audition, and she went in. He had this whole music room in his house, big grand piano. And
professional.
Yeah, he was a professional. And so she went in and did her audition, and when she came out, he shook her hand and said, "That's very good, Sister Albritton. Very good. We look forward to having you in the choir." Then he turned to me and said, "Now, Brother Albritton, come on in." And I said, "Oh, no, I've just brought her. I can't sing." "Oh, no," he said, "I've heard that wonderful voice of yours." I said, "No, you must have been thinking about somebody else. I promise you I can't sing. I'm not here for..." No. He grabs me and pulls, "Come on in. Yeah, you're just trying to get out of it. It's too late." So he brings me in, and he says, "Now, what I'd like for you to do, just kind of get an indication, I'd like for you to do that thing like that, So I started doing that, and he says, "Well, no, this is not going too well here." He says, "Perhaps you're a little nervous." I said, No, that's not it. I just can't sing." He said, "I've heard that voice of yours." He said, "No, I think we can get the best out of you. Here's what I want you to do." He said, "I'm going to hit the key." He'd go, ding, 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 ding. And then you follow that, you go, ah. So
he's doing piano notes. And
piano
notes.
notes.
You were supposed to copy him.
Yeah, copy those notes. Ah, ding, 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 ding. Mm-hmm. So he says, "Well, all right, I think you're just a little nervous. Let's do it this way to kind of relax you. You know that song, God Bless America?" I said, "Yeah." Kind of like that, row, row, row your boat. He said, "I just want you to relax and just sing that song, God Bless America, and that's all we need to do." I said, "Okay." So I start singing the song, started off a little slow, and I said, "Well, no sooner than I get started, he'll begin to believe that I can't sing." And so I started out, "God bless America," he didn't stop me. So I began to say, well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I can sing and I just don't realize. So he didn't stop me. And I kept singing, and after a while I was like, "God bless America." I was getting ready to stand up and do it, So I got through with the whole thing, and he sat there silent for about a minute, making notes on his card. He basically said, "Don't call us, we'll call you." He said, "Well, I don't know if we can use you in the choir right now. Maybe." He says, "Maybe at some later time." And I knew then, I said, this guy, I started to jump up. I felt like jumping up and choking him. I said, he has brought me into this fine music room and just totally humiliated me, getting me to sing that song that way. And so since that time, I have always known that I can't sing, but that doesn't stop me. Anyway, I sing in the shower, and I don't care. But I'm bona fide, certified, judged by a professional that I cannot sing. No matter what my wife says, "Oh, you sang good." No, you just love me, dear.
Well, we touched on we touched on this a little bit earlier, but can singing and whistling be beneficial for our work productivity?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I believe in that.
Well, can there be a detriment? Can it somehow be a detriment if we're?
I don't see how. How do you think would it be?
Well, there again, it goes back to if our singing is out loud and we have other people around us, they're distracted maybe.
Well, there may be a work professional circumstance where if you got a guy in a sewing factory or something, and he's bothering people, they call the boss, say, "Would you please stop him?" And then you say, "Well, Philip, you got to stop singing. People are complaining But normally that.
But if you're right by yourself, you know.
I think it could be productive. Yeah, I don't think you would have to stop working in order to sing. Now, smoking cigarettes, for example, would be a different thing. They did productivity studies with cigarettes showing that the process of lighting up and puffing, that you, out of 8 hour day, you smoke about 4 of it. You know, when they study the movement, the actual time it takes to do that.
Well,
but with singing, I don't know how that would. I don't know how that would affect productivity.
What's the psychology behind singing in the shower? You talk about you would sing in the shower. I've sung in the shower, but nothing coherent or planned. It was just like make up words, or it's like kind of like whistling, you know.
Well, you know, I like that bop 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 mao mao. You know, now I can kind of do that when I do that in the shower a lot. You know, and then that may lead me to another boppa song, like who put the in the doom.
Does it because we feel so good in the shower? We're getting clean, all that water flowing over.
It could be the
we
water.
We just want to sing, you know.
I don't know. It does seem to be associated with the shower, singing in the shower.
Yeah.
But it's also associated again with marching. You know, marching in rhythm, like the songs, the chants that we used to sing in the military.
In the shower?
No, I'm not talking about in the shower. I'm talking about the motivation, or what is it? The compulsion to sing while you're marching, like boom, 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 left, right, and your drill instructors, they go into a musical chant instead of saying left, right, left, right, left. You know, some of them get
kind of a concurrent activity
they get into a musical chant, like left,
rhythm.
right, left. You know, it's like a musical rhythm. And marching bands like to march to a rhythm.
Well,
that's you get into music when you get into working. Get into a rhythm.
Brother Lamson auditioning for the choir and singing in church. Why do we sing in church?
We sing in church. I'm not the expert here. I'm going to answer it, but I think the words are inspiring. People who write the hymns, most of us, whatever church we go to, I think we concede that the person who wrote that hymn may have wrote that hymn under the divine inspiration of some type. That the words are actually a prayer. Words to hymns are basically, I think, prayers to God. And when we go and when we sing, we're actually there praising God. We're praying. But we're doing it with a hymn. You know, if you go back, David was a musician, King David out of the Old Testament. And in the Old Testament, we read about people with a harp and singing. And
yeah, but we can't leave out the aspect of singing, the music part of it.
The music part of it.
The music, the sound. Some sounds, like the organ, tends to have a holier connotation of the organ music, you know, like at weddings and funerals. But the sound of our voices as we produce the sound in singing, it's not just the words, but the singing, the notes, the way the composer wrote them.
The harmonies.
I
love choirs where the voices.
And that's the reason, I think one of the reasons we sing at church is because we're not up there by ourselves, with everybody dependent on us singing the song and producing that. And we're all together singing the song. And
blend in.
We blend in, we hear the notes, we hear the singing. And that also bolsters our personal self-confidence about singing. You sing louder when you're in a group.
Because you know you're kind of, like Brother Lamson, you know, once you can blend into a bigger group,
yeah,
you can sing as loud as you want to. You just kind of, it can be blended in. Yeah, you know, that speaking philosophically, you know, that's kind of like life itself, isn't it? I mean, we have people in work groups in the factory or in the cotton patch or anywhere. You have your stronger ones and your weaker ones. And part of the whole structure of humanity is being able to blend in as one, lift up the weak, you know, let the stronger kind of carry the weak. Otherwise, it's only the elite everywhere But if you can blend in even the way, like, for example, do you think Chris Christopherson was a good singer?
Yeah.
I thought he was terrible. Do you think Willie Nelson is a good singer?
Yeah.
I think he sounds terrible. I love Willie Nelson, but the stuff he sings, I don't think he's. I mean, if you compare Willie Nelson with Tom Jones, which one would you say has the best voice?
They have different. It's different voices. I wouldn't say there was the best. Just a different style of singing. That's what makes them distinctive. When your style is different from everybody else's, and you become popular because of it. Willie Nelson didn't become popular solely on his lyrical songwriting talent. He started out that way, and a lot of success is credited to his songwriting. But he developed a voice that was distinctive, and that's why he made albums. But
it took him a long time because nobody didn't. His voice to start with wasn't standardized as a good voice.
I beg to differ.
He kind of led the way.
I've seen videos of like when he was on early back on Lawrence Welk and some of these shows, and he had the short haircut and wore the suit, and he was singing. He sounded great. He sounded fine.
He wasn't all that popular then, though.
Well, no, he wasn't popular, but he'd still sing.
Well, Chris Christopherson, let's take him. That's more. I do think Willie Nelson's very talented. He's one of my favorites. And, of course, Chris's music. I love Chris's music when Chris sings it. The same way with Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash was just Johnny Cash. Nobody sang like him, but was he a good singer? I think probably he created his own niche. But before he created Johnny Cash, he probably was a terrible singer.
Well, that's what defines success. When you create something that's your own niche and it becomes popular, that's success. Now, when you compare Johnny Cash to Barbra Streisand, yeah, there's a difference there. Or Perry Como or Pat Boone. You compare Johnny Cash to them, there's a difference.
Barbra Streisand, there's a difference. Streisand's, she's a terrific singer. She can hit those.
To say that one is good or bad, or good singer, I think.
All right, so Philip, are you saying that there might be a chance for me?
There is.
I could create a niche that.
Call Brother Lamson, get him on the phone.
So, Philip, that's very encouraging. So, if I continue to pursue my singing. I don't know if I'm going to live long enough to do that, though.
Well, what makes it important that we talked about this earlier? Is you sing as a group, either in church or in a group like caroling at Christmas. We go as a group singing Christmas carols. What's the importance of that as opposed to me going out door to door and singing Christmas carols?
Well, I don't understand music enough to really grasp the different parts of music, but those who sang it or in choirs understand what a soprano is and a tenor and a bass. I understand the bass, bop. I like that part.
Yeah.
But with each part, that guy that sings bass, he could stand up there and sing a solo because he can't sing all the parts, but he's great on that part.
And that's part of what makes singing in church as a group. Because different people sing in different parts or different sounds.
That's right.
And even if everybody's lousy and they're singing the same notes and all trying to, it still sounds uplifting.
And it not only sounds uplifting, but it is uplifting to the person singing. Right.
Yeah.
So it's a little therapeutic in a spiritual way. It's spiritually uplifting to go and sing those songs, and in a way you're praying to God. And when you're praying to God, you're asking Him for something, and maybe you get a little bit of it, so it's uplifting.
What drives us to sing Kumbaya by the campfire?
I think that's kind of a camaraderie song. Songs, there are military songs, where marching songs,
Yeah.
The ants go marching one by one.
Hurrah.
Hurrah, hurrah. All right, it just gets you in that patriotic sense, and then there are the
I'm working on a song. I got Tracy Lester working on it, trying to write some music for it. But I've told you about this song that
we are marching
for our podcast.
Yeah,
and the song is marching along with our arms up in the air. So, and that, once we get it written, I'll do a little video and we can record the song and play the song. Not record it and sing it at the same time. We'll just be marching with the song, with our voices singing. Marching along.
We were marching.
No, we are marching with our arms up in the air. We are marching with our arms up in the air. Marching along, singing the song. On and on it goes.
Yeah. Well, Philip,
got our arms up in the air.
Got our arms up in. Me marching behind you. Like,
holding our arms up like this.
Yeah. So now, Philip, I've listened to you sing in church. I've sat next to you for many years there, and I can certify that you probably shouldn't pursue a music career. I also have attempted to write a song, but me having gone through the Brother Lamson thing, I don't kid myself that I can sing or write a song. I think you're probably what's the word? Living in fantasy land.
No. I don't have any fantasies.
That it's a good song.
It's a good song. What I'm trying to do is captivate the mood of our podcast.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm gonna be marching behind you. Yeah, I'll do it. But even though I don't really think it's a great song, but well, I'll do anything.
We'll see how many clicks we get once we do that.
But sometimes if you get so bad, you tread into the realm of something different.
Annoying. Yeah.
But
I did have some success early on in life singing. Davisville, back to Davisville School.
When we had the little flutes that we played.
No, I was in a play. It was a musical play in 6th grade, and the part I played was this little boy who, I forget who played the different. Wynell Miller was there, and Susan Wilson, and Mike Godwin. And all these people were in this play in my grade, and I had the part as the little boy in the family. It was a Christmas play, who didn't have very much stuff, and then I developed this.
You were the little poor boy.
I was like a little poor boy, and then I, as far as I can remember, and then the very last song, I had to sing this solo, and I had to get up and stand out on the front of the stage with all these people watching, and I had to sing, "I am a Superman," or something like that. It was more than that, but I sang it, and I belted it out, and everybody was like, and then I was so embarrassed. I said, I did this, but I never sang much after that. But.
Well, when you're a little kid, the parents will clap no matter how bad you do. It's kind of like being super ugly. I've known little kids that were so ugly that they were just cute as they could be.
All right, let's call it a wrap. I think we've recorded enough nonsense here that we can end this one. And
it's a good thing. Music's a good
thing. Singing's a good thing, and whistling.
Oh, wait, can I just tell one quick joke about the whistling?
You can, but I'm going to cut it off because we're already over time.
Oh, really? Well, maybe you slip it in. I had this guy one time that was so mean that when he died, they couldn't get anybody to speak at his funeral because nobody could say anything good about him. So they found this one guy that always had something good to say. So he got up at the funeral and he cleared his throat and he says, "Man, he sure could whistle good." So if that's all you can do is whistle, that's something. That's it. That's the story.
That's it for us. It's a wrap. Bye, y'all.